I know what love is. It's Jesus loving me. I wake up happy to pray, happy to lift my voice, just full of joy I didn't even have before. See, I used to think love was about loving people, about who stayed, who left, or who I could trust. But God said, protect your heart. And now I finally understand why. Love isn't about putting up with disrespect or holding on to people who don't mean you no good or walking around with hatred in your heart. Real love is trusting Jesus. It's loving him even when life doesn't make sense. It's choosing peace over chaos and surrender over control. Because we can't control everything. Our heart is the main engine of our body, just like the engine is to a car. When the engine is off, the whole car stops. That's how it is when our heart isn't right with God. The way a child depends on a parent, that's exactly how we should depend on him. Trusting him, acknowledging him, respecting him, asking questions when we don't understand, talking to him even when we feel unworthy, being fearful of him but not afraid. The kind of fear that comes from reverence and love and always wanting to do better. Always wanting to do better. Some people don't believe he's real, and that's okay. But I'm here to tell you this. Every day we put faith in things we can't even see. We lay on an operating table, trusting that the doctor's going to bring us back. We show up to jobs every day, pleasing CEOs we never ever met. If we can put that kind of trust in man, we can put that same faith in God. He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Y'all know the Abba is another name for Father. That's God. And yeah, there are so many religions out there. Some people just don't know any better. They don't know any better, but it's not our job to judge them. We here on earth to pull them closer to him, not push them further away. Because some people don't even know how good God is, simply because no one ever showed them love his way. Let me say that again, love his way, not ours. That's why God emphasizes love so much. Because God is love. 1 John 4:8. When we love others, we reflect him. Jesus said, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love for one another. John 13:35. Love breaks cycles of hate, hurt, and division. It's how we overcome evil with good. As it says, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. And we can't say we love God, whom we never seen, if we don't even love the people standing right in front of us. If a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. 1 John 4:20. It's a lot of that going on. Some people may never read their Bible, but they'll read your life. That's why loving other people matter. It matters. It's the loudest sermon you'll ever preach. Jesus, I said Jesus. Lord forgive me. Jesus never promised this world would be at peace. He didn't. That's why he gave us free will, once again. Because imagine forcing somebody to love you. It wouldn't be real love at all. It'd be fake. So if we can place our hope in people, our trust in a paycheck, and our worth in what others think, acid reflux, then surely we can put our faith in God. We can. He destroyed the world once by water. That's in the Old Testament. But when he returns, it'll be by fire. Whew, look around. The world is changing so fast. If I were you, I'd rather believe in good and love him with all my heart than keep living in a world loving people who could care less about you. Because following the crowd leads to destruction. Worrying about image leads to pride. Leaning on your own understanding instead of God's, that leads to damnation. And as Paul said in the New Testament, therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears. That's Acts 20:31. And that means Paul didn't warn out of pride or fear. He didn't do that. He did it with tears because he cared about souls. That's love. So we must speak truth in love, because silence in the face of sin can cost a life. And love without truth isn't love at all. Someone said in the comments, tell us something we don't know. And that's exactly the attitude that pushes others away from the truth. One person cannot answer for the many. You season somebody else from questioning or finding out the truth, or finding out something they don't know. It's like a child in class scared to ask questions, all because of big mouth that always tries to answer for the whole. And half the time they don't even know what they're talking about. So today, choose love. Choose truth. True. Y'all, I'm tired. It's almost 2 a.m. Choose him. And I know some of y'all been looking. I kept this in my hand for a reason, because I know somebody out there just waiting to find some type of fault. This is a frosty root beer, vanilla root beer, and it's so good. Y'all might be like, why is she drinking this? It's 2 a.m. God sent me my message. This is the time I keep it tight with the Lord. If I was asleep, I would wake up anyway. So, good night, y'all. Stay blessed.